Hey guys, I just want to make a little video to demonstrate how the new grid systems work in Navis. You can see in my project browser I have three different Revit files linked in. This is mainly for purposes for demonstration. There's a new tab or a new section under the View tab. This gives you options of grid control, and then there's also some options inside the general options tabs, which we'll show at the end. So first one, show grid. This is going to cycle the new grid system on and off inside Navis. You may find that the grids cause a little bit of additional lag, but there's a lot of control that you can do to help minimize or negate it completely. There's a grids and levels section here. The first drop down, this controls what grid you're actually using. So spinning the model over to a plan view, we can see kind of what an overview of what the system looks like now. You'll notice that these grids are actually interactive. You can hover over an intersection. It'll tell you where the intersection is, what level you're on, the whole 9 yards. All this information is pulled out of Revit though. So if you see indiscrepancies while you're using these, it's generally a problem with the Revit grid itself. It also gives you a heads-up display of where the camera is currently located at. The letter and number you see here and here are your primary grids. The bracket 7s are basically the decimal of the grid. So my current camera location and plan is at Q.7 and 16.7. I'm 612 feet above the roof. This control dialog box will determine which grid file it's actually reading from Revit. It'll read any grid out of any of the Revit files that are appended, so if you have a design model or whatever, this is where this is going to show up. You can see that you can choose which grid you're using. So I have a fab grid here that only contains the grids for fab. I have a PSSS one as well, so you do get control of which grid you're running for which building, which project, anything you could ever want. You also have what they call the mode control. This is where you're going to do your significant amount of lag reduction. You can see in here you get options above, below, above and below, all, or fixed. When you're set to fixed, this will open up this dialog drop down here. You can specifically choose which level you want to display the grid on. So far I've been playing around with above and below. Seems to work pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and cycle back to our overall grid plan for the project. You'll see that there's three different colors associated with the grid file as I dive down in here. To display all, you'll see what I'm talking about. And what the program does is, based on viewpoint control, will determine what color your grids are. If I dive down in between a floor here, you'll see that now I'm on level 3 down here on my HUD. The grid that is below me, for the floor below me, is green. The one that above me is gray. All other grids are this gray color in the background. So I want to set that back to just above and below, because you'll notice that the grid lines, the letters, will actually track with the model. So as you pan around, you can see this stuff can get a little bit annoying, but for the most part, it's an excellent tool that they've finally added for field communications. You'll see that your grid lines float around the edge of the screen, the call out for them, and they'll follow the grids. So as you turn and pivot, each one of the grid locations are always easily identified. You can see that I'm right along grid line E here. You can see it in the model. Other options that you have is an X-ray mode, which I kind of found to be a little overbearing. Under your general options, uh, the model tab, nope, file readers. Under display, you've got color control, and you have what's called X-ray mode. X-ray mode will make the grids appear phantom through everything, all solids, all surfaces. I could see this being handy at times, but also a little bit overbearing when it bleeds through everything in the models. So far with my experiments, I like the X-ray mode to be turned off. So I think we'll do one last little show here. I'm gonna hide my overall model. I think this makes it a little bit easier to follow. As you scroll around, you can see each of the coordinates following the grid lines as you move around inside the model. If there's any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.